Right now at 5, firefighters in Pittsburgh rescue a woman from a burning house.
And we've got a few clouds out there now. Scattered showers and storms developing just to our west. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, a major water main project is underway in downtown Lamar, what it means for residents and businesses.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Melissa Alexis.
I'm Chris Warner. It's now Thursday. It's March the 27th, and we've got a few showers and storms, not in our immediate area yet, but they are knocking on the back door, and we'll just kind of have to see how they play out this morning.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Nothing severe at this point. Some of the storms producing some small hail. Of course, we'll keep a close eye on them. We're going to start, though, with our look outside downtown Pittsburgh. And again, from Pittsburgh, looks okay. We have a few clouds in our area, so partly cloudy skies this morning, but not bad. MoDOT camera I-44 and Rangeline looking good as well, but I want to talk about those storms out to the west. So there they are. We have this line of storms off to the west. Again, nothing severe, but if you take a look back, we back this up just a wee bit here. In fact, I do apologize. Let me back this up a couple hours. And you can see how quickly these storms developed, and they are moving east-southeast, and we'll watch for any additional development down here on the southern edge. As you can see, it's trying to stretch a little further south. So nothing severe at this point, but getting ready to roll into the western portions of Greenwood, Elk, and Chautauqua counties, and if they hold together, they'll eventually make their way through the area. So I did a check on these. Right now, they're moving about 20 miles an hour, so that would put them right along the 69 corridor by about 9 o'clock this morning. Should be through Chanute by about 8 or so, and crossing into Missouri a little later this morning. So again, we'll see exactly how they pan out. You see they fired up pretty quickly. Again, nothing severe at this point, not anticipating anything severe, but Wichita National Weather Service Office is saying that there's been some small hail with some of those storms. So on to the future track. Future track's having a hard time with these storms as well. So this is what it's thinking by noon, but I do believe by about 2, any kind of activity like that is going to be out of our area, and we're just going to be very warm and windy. Those southwest winds starting to gust upwards of about 30 miles an hour out there. And take a look by 8 o'clock tonight. Look at how mild it is. Upper 70s, some of us still close to 80 degrees out there. And a very mild start to the day again for us. 59 in Joplin, 59 in Pittsburgh. And keep in mind, our average lows should be in the low 40s, and we are almost, well, look at Fort Scott, at 60. We're almost in the low 60s in some locations. All of us, though, above average as we get this day underway. So with these storms, again, we'll have to see if they hold together, how long they hold together, but we're going to go with them holding on through the morning hours because I think that's still the expectation. So kids getting on the bus, maybe some scattered storms out there, south winds gusting to 20 and close to 60. Temperature's not moving too much. And by the time that bus comes home, though, mostly cloudy, breezy, about 80, those southwest winds gusting to 30. And again, our highs for most of us heading into the low 80s, maybe some upper 70s here and there. And again, I think by 2 o'clock at the latest, these storms are done. And then skies will actually clear through the evening and will be mostly clear tonight. Another warm night ahead of us. And we do still have the thunderstorm threat this weekend. We do still have that possibility of strong, potentially severe storms. We're going to break down those details for you here in just a few more minutes. So, Melissa?
All right, thanks, Chris. Pittsburgh firefighters have rescued a woman from a burning home. Firefighters yesterday responded to a report of a woman trapped in a burning house at 605 North Georgia. The city says they immediately attacked the fire, found the woman, and despite heavy smoke, they got her out. The Pittsburgh fire chief says the woman had some injuries and they transferred her to the care of Crawford County EMS. A medical helicopter took her from Pittsburgh Mercy Hospital to another location. We don't have any word on her condition, but the fire department says no one else was in the home. The state fire marshal office will also help with the investigation of the fire. A Neodesha man enters a plea on a reduced charge as part of a plea agreement in the death of a Coffeyville, Kansas man. Ryan Mikula was originally charged with second-degree murder for the death of David Wintgen. According to court documents, Wintgen died after an altercation with Mikula in May of last year. Now, Mikula has pleaded no contest to a charge of aggravated battery in the case, and the authorities have dismissed the murder charge. Sentencing is scheduled for May. To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. The Pittsburgh USD 250 School Board met yesterday evening, but only in executive session, not open to the public. Yesterday, the district sent a message to parents acknowledging that the district was aware of multiple social media posts circulating about district employees. In that message, the district pointed out that in compliance with federal and state employment laws, the district may not publicly share information regarding employees, disciplinary actions, or personnel issues. Crews in Lamar continue to work on replacing the city's downtown water mains. The project is funded through ARPA grants. The replacement of the pipes coincides with a well drilling project to provide a redundant water source for the city. Residents and businesses in the immediate area are advised that their water may be minimally disrupted starting today as crews work to attach residential lines to the new main lines.
It's going very smoothly. It's going very quickly. The actual contract goes into the fall. There was a priority of being done on the square in August, before August, in time for the fair, and I think we're going to achieve that very, very easily.
Now, the city says the water well project is still underway. They say that once the project is completed, the city will have no need for the Lamar City Lake as a water source. We continue to look at the small communities that make up our area. Our own Trevor Lewis took some time to visit the town of Arma, Kansas, to learn more about its history.
We were incorporated in 1909. We were a mining area town. Most everybody had something to do with mining up until the 60s. My grandfather was a deep shaft miner, coal miner. And over the last 50 years, we are a bedroom community to Fort Scott, Girard, Pittsburgh. I was growing up there, it'd be very common to have over 10,000 people here at homecoming. It was started as a welcoming back from the troops from World War II. And it has stayed very patriotic throughout the years. It's home. I've lived here all except 4 years when a couple years of college and a couple years away, and I moved back in '84, and I can't imagine living anywhere else.
Previously known as Rust, it was later named Arma after William F. Armacost. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in your first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Pittsburgh State women's basketball is one win away from earning a spot in the national championship. We'll have the details. Plus, the Catholic Church is planning to canonize its first millennial saint in a month. And we have warm and windy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Sky Watch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Well, for the first time in program history, Pittsburgh State women's basketball plays in a Final Four game in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Winner moves on to the national championship on Friday night. So here we go. Pitt State against Grand Valley State. Again, the winner will play for a national title. Gorillas start slow offensively, but here Grace Pyle hits the pull-up three. PSU down 7 after the first, and Pitt chipping away in the second. Harper Schreiner finds Savannah Campbell for 2. Then we get Pyle to Hannah Nilgis. 3 goes down for her first points, but Grand Valley takes an 11-point lead to halftime. So into the third quarter, here come the Gorillas. First, Grace Pyle finds Sydney Holmes open in the corner. She drains the three-pointer. Next time down the floor, Pyle steps back and connects from 3. The lead is down to 7. And then we go to Harper Schreiner. Run down a loose ball and finishes off the break herself. That caps a 12-2 run and narrows the deficit down to 3. PSU keeps on coming. Here's Pyle. She's going to get fouled and the shot will drop. She tied the game at the line. A couple minutes later, the Gorillas would take their first lead. We go to the final moments of the third quarter. Hannah Nilgis open for three. She hits. We go to the fourth quarter, tied at 46. Gorillas down 5 with 3 minutes left. Here's Pyle again from beyond the arc. They simply refuse to go away. But Grand Valley State just makes a couple more plays down the stretch. Gorillas' historic season comes to an end in the Final Four. 1 win short of a national championship appearance. Pitt State falls to Grand Valley State 68-61. Well, yesterday afternoon in Joplin, Missouri Southern and Pittsburg State baseball renewed their rivalry on Warren Turner Field. Gorillas versus Lions. We're going to start in the third, still 0-0. We get Drew Bugner ropes a ball down the left field line. He's in the second with a stand-up double. Next batter, Hayden Dyer with a nice single to left. Bugner coming home, and he slides in time to put the Gorillas up 1-0. So we go to the bottom of the inning. Lions threatening. Nate Myskowski tries to steal second. Nixon Brannon throws him out. Nice tag by Ricky Sanchez. Lions still scoreless. In the fourth, Sanchez at the plate. Skies it to left, but Tragan Parker makes the catch on the warning track. Drew Townsend up to bat now. He hits it well to left field. This one is gone. And the Lions tie it up at 1. But Brady Pacha remains composed. He strikes out Jake Leaker after the home run. Finishes day allowing 2 runs through 5 innings pitched. Gorillas win this one 8-4. Over in Altamont, one of our local high school athletes signing a letter of intent yesterday afternoon to play her sport at the college level right here in the 4 states. Lebec County High School senior Taylin Harlow signing her letter of intent yesterday afternoon to play volleyball at Independence Community College. Future Pirate didn't start playing volleyball until her freshman year and says that today is the culmination of a lot of hard work and determination to play at the next level.
Independence really just felt like home. Like the moment that we, the coach and I contacted, and then I visited the school and we had our first conversation in person. She just felt like a coach that I've always wanted, and we just had a lot of similarities in our programs, and I just loved her instantly when we started talking.
Well, still to come, a new study shows that chewing gum could contain microplastics. Plus, take a look at those showers and storms out there and tell you what the weekend holds when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 5:17 now. On this Thursday morning, we have that line of showers and storms off to our west. Now, again, nothing severe. We're not anticipating anything severe with this activity, but there has been some small hail with some of the stronger storms, just barely starting to get into our area. So here's what we've got. In terms of entering our area, we're looking eventually at Howard and Sedan and into Eureka, so Greenwood, Elk, and Chautauqua counties here before too much longer on the showers and storms. They do stretch up further north, just to the east of Salina, and they stretch down a little south here around just west of Bartlesville near Pawhuska. The southern edge of this has kind of lost some of its intensity. There was some lightning with these thunderstorms earlier. It is gone, but we are seeing some new development taking place around the Wichita area, and we've got this guy way out here, but still nonetheless some additional development out there in west Oklahoma. So what I want to mention though is how quickly these storms came to be. So we backed this up to about 3 hours ago. We get all the way to 3 a.m., not much out there, and then very quickly, within 20-30 minutes, we started seeing thunderstorm activity, and you can see initially a lot of lightning with these storms. We could actually see it from our camera at 7th and Range Line. We were talking at that point, these storms about 115 miles away. Now they're continuing to move off to the east and still doing so at about 20 miles an hour. So we're going to do a very broad track. This is obviously not going to list everybody in our area, but this is the timing we're looking at. If these storms don't intensify, if they don't speed up, and assuming they also don't die out before they get too far west, these are the zones we're looking at. So eventually into Chanute by about 6:21, in the Pittsburgh area by about, this is not right. I didn't change the speed on this. I'll tell you what I looked at earlier, though. So we're talking Chanute about 8, Pittsburgh, Miami around 9 a.m., a little after 10 by the time it gets into Missouri. You have to tell the computer how fast the storms are moving, and I didn't change that, so that's got it moving very quickly, and they are not at this point. They're moving about 20 miles an hour. So here they are, firing up very quickly. Again, nothing severe. They are already starting to weaken a bit, so we'll have to see if they hold their own coming in. We'll also see if anything new develops along the 35 corridor. Future track having a bit of a hard time with these storms. It does show them here by about noon. And I'm wondering if, too, on the future track, this might be a representation of the development behind the first line of storms. We'll see what plays out. But again, I still think, like yesterday, by about 2 o'clock, these storms are gone. They are out of here, and then we are very warm and very windy. And I want to talk about the weekend before we run out of time, so we're going to get to that. 60 to start, 73 by 11 a.m. And again, I'm putting scattered storms up there, but we'll have to see exactly how these storms play out. If they hold like what we were thinking yesterday, then we'll have a few scattered showers and storms for about 2. They will just start to clear out warm. Low 80s, southwest winds gusting to 30. Skies will continue to clear through the evening and overnight, and we're still very mild, near 60 tonight. Southwest winds still gusting to 25. I want to get into Saturday. Now, by Saturday afternoon, future track still shows maybe a few isolated showers or a rumble of thunder. We are looking at the better chances still very late Saturday night into very early Sunday morning. So here we are by 8. We have this cold front, starts setting off storms to our west, and we see these storms continue. Here we are at 1 a.m. That's, again, what makes this a slightly unusual event is intensification of the storms overnight. So we'll see these storms continue to push through. Here's that line by 5 a.m. It's just starting to get in to the Missouri side, and we do still have a severe threat for that. So we have a low risk for Saturday, but I think this, again, is going to be for late Saturday into very early Sunday. So that's a level 1 out of 5. And then heading into Sunday, especially Sunday early morning, you can see this possible risk has been backed up a little further west again with that line of storms as it intensifies. So we still want to watch very late Saturday night, very early Sunday morning to see exactly how this pans out. Still warm on Saturday, upper 70s, low 70s tomorrow. Cooler on Monday and Sunday night, by the way, at the passage of that cold front. Warm weather right around the corner, though, back to the upper 70s, low 80s for the second half of next week. Let's check your forecast. We're back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning. If you like chewing gum, you may be surprised to learn that you're bringing potentially hundreds of microplastics into your mouth. Researchers at the University of California in Los Angeles conducted a study. They tested nearly a dozen popular chewing gums. They found 1 gram of chewing gum released about 100 microplastics on average, while others released more than 600. A typical stick of gum can weigh anywhere from 1 to several grams. Researchers also found about 94% of microplastics were released within the first 8 minutes of chewing. Health experts say microplastics can threaten people's health in part because they potentially carry harmful bacteria. It's Endometriosis Awareness Month, a time to shed light on a disease that causes the tissue that typically lines the uterus to grow elsewhere. It can cause debilitating pain and may make it harder to get pregnant. Mandy Gaither explains the endometriosis signs every woman should know and talks to a patient about how she finally found relief after years of suffering.
Every month for days, it would feel like I was giving childbirth.
For 16 years, Sage D'Amato says she lived with unbearable period pain, thinking it was just part of being a woman.
It got so bad that I would have to go to the emergency room at local hospitals.
D'Amato says that was the last straw. At age 31, doctors at Northwestern Medicine discovered she had severe endometriosis that was blocking her ureter.
It's around 10% of all women in the U.S. May have endometriosis and don't really know they have it.
Dr. Magdi Malad says it's common for women to get a delayed diagnosis as they're told it's normal to have painful periods. That's why he says advocating for yourself is critical. While endometriosis can be asymptomatic, there are red flags, including extreme pain in the abdomen, lower back and pelvis, during or after sex, intestinal pain, or painful bowel movements. Other signs can be bleeding or spotting between periods, infertility, and stomach problems.
I strongly encourage women to sort of seek out care, and if you're not really hearing the answers that you're expecting or being taken seriously, then seek out another opinion.
Dr. Malad helped perform a complicated surgery on D'Amato, and for the first time in years, she's living pain-free.
I feel fantastic. It was the greatest decision.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Officials at Northwestern Medicine say endometriosis is a leading cause of fertility. There are many types of treatments available that can bring relief from symptoms, including medicine, surgery, or a combination of both. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we are continuing to monitor showers and storms off to our west, just starting to creep into our area. We'll have another look at your forecast when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, area first responders will soon get a financial boost thanks to an annual telethon.
And we've got some showers and storms starting to roll into the area. We'll have a look at those for you coming up.
Plus, a Joplin sandwich shop hosts a tasty fundraiser to benefit a nonprofit.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:29. I'm Melissa Alexis.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Thursday. It is March the 27th, and we have the rain. I said it was going to rain. I said there were going to be scattered storms this morning. We do have them. They're not here yet, but they are out there. So it was one of the things that changed between our morning and noon news yesterday is the timing on the storms getting into our neck of the woods was pushed back a little bit, but they are there, and they are moving in. So we're going to take a quick look at them. But first, a ceremonial look at downtown Pittsburgh, looking great so far. In fact, we've got mostly clear skies across the area. I-44 and Range Line, the MoDOT camera there, looking good as well this morning. And of course, the roads will get busy here before too much longer. So here's a look at those storms right now. And remember earlier I was trying to tell you when they would be in certain places, and I forgot to adjust this to their speed at 20 miles an hour. The computer was still set to 55. So they're not moving that fast. They're moving about 20 miles an hour. So before we get too close, we'll just kind of give you a rough timeline of their arrival through our area here now that I've got this fixed. If they hold together, we're looking at about 8:20 into Chanute, just before 10 into Miami, just before 11 in Joplin, and eventually just before 12:30 around the Monette area. So that's what we're looking at, because now I've got that time adjusted. So that certainly is beneficial since they are, again, not moving that fast. But you can see they are struggling to hold on, and we'll take a look at the loop on these here in just a moment. But just still outside of Greenwood, Elk, and Chautauqua counties. But you can see there's some lightning across the region. We had some storms, these ones around Wichita, that tried to fire up behind this line. Stronger parts of it are up to the northern fringes out here around, as you can see, Diamond Creek says be west of Emporia and east of Salina. And it has tried to get going a little further south. We're seeing some development down here around Hominy and around the Pawhuska area. But again, nothing strong, nothing severe. We've had some small hail with these, but take a look at how quickly that line developed. But also, you see that high volume of lightning when it initially developed as well, and then it began to taper off. So we'll see how they pan out, but I think still looking at the same timing as yesterday. By about 2 o'clock, any shower and thunderstorm activity is done. We're otherwise going to start to clear out and be very warm, very breezy across the region as well by this afternoon. 59 in Joplin, 57 in Pittsburgh, and again, bear in mind our lows should be in the low 40s, and we are not near that. Grove is the closest, I think, at this point at 49, but still above normal. Fort Scott and Nevada at 60. Same in the Odyssey this morning, a very mild start to the day. So if these storms hold, we're looking at a few scattered storms, kids getting on the bus near 60, south winds gusting to 20, mostly cloudy, 80 when the bus brings them home, southwest winds now gusting to 30. That's what we'll have throughout the day today. And again, after 2, we'll start to see skies clear. Got clear skies tonight, another mild evening ahead of us. And again, our highs, by the way, low 80s. We're going to talk more about these storms that are developing now, and I know everyone's still talking about those weekend storms as well. All those details for you here in just a few more minutes. Melissa?
Thanks, Chris. Hummingbirds are making their way back to our area. Conservationists report the states to the south have seen the birds on the move as they migrate back from their winter home.
Currently, the hummingbirds are coming up from Mexico and Panama, which is where they overwinter. It's nice and warm down there for them in the wintertime. And then gradually throughout the spring, they're going to work their way further and further north.
Bird found in Missouri is the ruby-throated hummingbird. Like a lot of libraries, the Pittsburgh Public Library is about a lot more than just books these days. Yesterday afternoon, it hosted a craft program for kids in 1st through 5th grades. Participants could decorate their own blank journals. The library provided a variety of supplies, including stickers, markers, and embellishments, so every child could create a unique and personalized design. Stapleton Elementary in Joplin opened a brand new chapter of a shared reading event. Every Stapleton student received a copy of the book Finway Hattie by Victoria J. Brooks to be read together at home for the next few weeks. Staff at the school see the event as a great way to show how fun reading can be.
Just reading is fun, and we have tried to do everything we can to promote that through our book, through our reviewing in the assembly. We transformed our entire school with the theme and objects from the book, so they walked in school today completely surprised, and they're waiting anxiously to find out what's going on, why did our teachers do this, and that we're going to do this together, and we're a community, our families, to our students, to our staff.
The school says it plans to celebrate the completion of the book with a Stapleton Reads Night on Thursday, April 17th. A Joplin business cooked up its annual fundraiser to benefit the community yesterday. Jersey Mike's served up its National Day of Giving event. The sub shop donates 100% of sales generated on the day to local charities. For the Joplin shop, that meant a big boost to Big Brothers Big Sisters of Jasper and Newton counties.
The Jersey Mike's Day of Giving is huge. Last year we were benefit of the Day of Giving as well, and we made just a little over $25,000 off of just 100% of sales. You do nothing different than come in and eat, and 100% of those sales benefit Big Brothers Big Sisters. Those funds go to help for cost of background checks, insurance, which is always going up, just those costs that we have associated with running a safe mentoring operation.
No surprise, Day of Giving is Jersey Mike's busiest day of the year. Since the event began in 2011, Jersey Mike's has raised more than $113 million for local charities. Some area first responders will benefit from your donations to KOAM's Hero Fund telethon next week. The fund is used to aid first responders in getting state-of-the-art personal protection equipment and other safety resources so they can return home safely to their family. We spoke to the Goodman Police Department to see why they hope to receive this funding.
Actually wanting the grant for a drone for the police department that we could use to help better law enforcement. It would help us apprehend suspects, fleeing suspects. It would just overall help. We got a school here in the area, and we could drone the school for threats.
The Hero Fund will take place next Wednesday at our noon, 5, and 6 broadcasts. Now that's a look at our top stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Brazil's ex-president Bolsonaro will stand trial over an attempted coup. Plus, after a year of airstrikes, Palestinians rise up against Hamas in Gaza. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch. The Catholic Church will canonize its first millennial saint in 1 month. Pilgrims are flocking to Assisi, Italy to honor the church's first millennial saint, Carlo Acutis. Before he's canonized on April 27th, Acutis will be the youngest contemporary figure to be canonized. He's been dubbed the patron saint of the internet for his work to create a website geared towards cataloging miracles, as well as helping to run several websites for the local Catholic organizations. Acutis died of leukemia in Italy in 2006 when he was only 15 years old. Pope Francis beatified him in 2020 in the small hilltop town. Brazil's ex-president will be heading to trial over an attempted coup of his nation. A panel of Brazil Supreme Court justices unanimously accepted charges on Wednesday over former President Jair Bolsonaro, alleged attempted to stay in office following his 2022 election defeat. Bolsonaro and 33 others have been accused of attempting a coup that included a plan to poison his successor, current President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. And plans to kill a Supreme Court judge, Bolsonaro has repeatedly denied wrongdoing, claiming that he's being politically persecuted. Under Brazilian law, a coup conviction carries a sentence of up to 12 years in prison. Facing more than a year's worth of airstrikes and military ground operations from Israeli troops targeting Hamas militants in Gaza, thousands of Palestinians are rising up against the designated terror organization ruling the Gaza Strip. While the militant group has stomped out previous demonstrations, it's unclear what these new calls will bring. Kevin Cork reports.
In a sign of worsening conditions throughout the Gaza Strip, thousands of Palestinians marched among the wreckage Wednesday during a rare public protest against the Hamas militant group and the ongoing war with Israel. Chants including "We want a civil government" and "Out, out, Hamas, get out" filled the air. Many citing anguish caused by the 17 months of fighting that's killed more than 50,000 people in Gaza, according to the Hamas-run health ministry.
We want to live in peace. We are tired. I raised my son for 15 years, only for him to be gone now.
Protesters sending this message to Hamas militants still ruling the territory.
We are done. We gave them enough chances, but you let us down.
Israel's defense minister, meanwhile, is urging Palestinians to carry out more opposition.
Demand the removal of Hamas from Gaza and the immediate release of all Israeli hostages. That is the only way to stop the war.
The outcry comes after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu recently ordered military operations in Gaza to resume, citing stalled talks to secure the release of remaining hostages. Hamas is calling for a permanent ceasefire and a full Israeli withdrawal from Gaza, as Netanyahu promises new action.
And I say to Hamas, this includes seizing territory.
It's estimated Hamas is still holding 59 hostages, 24 of whom are believed to still be alive.
Now that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5:45 now on this Thursday morning. Again, we're starting with Skywatch Storm Tracker. So this line flared up very quickly. It was organized, then it became disorganized, but as you can see, it is attempting to reorganize now. We're seeing some better development taking place out there, so we're going to take this radar loop back about 3 hours to when this all kind of began, just before 3. So we had just a few showers, and then as you see, it flares up quickly. Look at the volume of lightning with these storms when they first got started. We could actually see that lightning from our camera at 7th and Range Line when these storms were still 115, 120 miles away from Joplin. We could see that. You see all that lightning. Then the storms began to weaken. If you take a look, especially on the southern edge here, see how it's kind of starting to fall apart, but now as we get into the here recently, it's trying to reorganize again. Again, the more intense storms, again, nothing strong, nothing severe at this point. The more intense storms, a little more lightning off to the northwest of our area, so just outside of Emporia, but you can see that we do have still a fair amount of lightning between these two clusters here. That's 42 lightning strikes in that area alone. With these storms, though, they're going to continue to push off. They're moving roughly east, almost southeast, southeast. They're just starting to get into now to parts of Greenwood, Elk, and Chautauqua counties. But again, nothing strong, nothing severe at this point, but some small hail has been reported with these storms so far this morning, but again, nothing that has reached severe criteria. So again, going off of this particular line here, and we're going to draw this out, move it off to the east at about 20 miles an hour. If it holds together, these are the estimated arrival times. So again, getting in to the Chanute area about 8:41, Miami about 9:39, Joplin about 10:45, and then heading into Monette around 12:17, Stockton by 1:13. Again, this is all also assuming that this line of storms doesn't die out again, or it doesn't increase speed. It's been moving about 20 miles an hour. If it increases its speed, obviously the arrival times will change, but we do have this complex of storms. And again, you watch the southern edge die out, and that's trying to reorganize. We've also had some try to redevelop back behind the line, so we'll see how this pans out. But I still think one of the key things is by 2 o'clock today, we're going to be done with this round of showers and storms. I still think that's at least the latest point that we might still have some lingering. Skies will begin to clear into the evening, and all of us getting in the low, maybe even mid 80s out there. A very, very warm day for the end of March. We'll also have those southwest winds gusting as well. Gusty winds continue overnight tonight and into tomorrow, and we'll have a clear night tonight. We have some pop-up storm chances for us on our Friday, but nothing strong, severe expected there. The weekend's what we want to talk about, and that's what we're going to get to. So we're going to go about 60 to start, low 70s by 11. Again, on the assumption some of these scattered storms might hold, and again, lasting maybe till 2. And we'll go low mid 80s out there. Southwest winds gusting to 30. Clear skies tonight. And still mild, back into the upper 50s, low 60s, southwest winds gusting to 25. We go into Saturday. Future Track still wants to pay a few isolated showers or a rumble of thunder in the afternoon Saturday. We are looking at very late Saturday into early Sunday morning. So again, this is going to be one of those situations that we don't like, where we have the nocturnal severe threat. When everyone's sleeping is when the stronger storms could be here. So here's 8 o'clock. We get a cold front. It starts triggering off a line of storms, but here we are at 1 a.m., and that will surge off to the east-southeast. And as it does so, it is expected to potentially intensify and potentially become strong to severe with, unfortunately, all hazards possible out there. So that's why, again, for Saturday night, we have a level 1 out of 5, or that low risk out there. And then as we head into Sunday, there's still just the 2 categories, the possible or probable. But you see this, a couple of days ago it was here, then it was here, and now it's even further west. So we want to watch Saturday night into early Sunday morning very closely for that potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms. Between here and there, again, a couple of pop-up showers or storms tomorrow. Most of us dry, low 70s. Warm again on Saturday. Once that front pushes through, temperatures drop, though. We're down into the 30s Sunday night, leaving us below normal on Monday. But don't worry, the warm weather's right around the corner. We go back into the 70s, maybe even some 80s as we head into the next work week. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.
All across the United States, animals seem to be making daring escapes, and those escapades are all caught on camera. Patrick Cornell shows us the wild videos in today's Take a Look at This.
Take a gander at a bevy of animals running amok, hopping, clopping, flopping, bopping all around, causing all sorts of chaos. In Houston, a high-stakes interstate rodeo, a rare sight when reportedly an unlocked trailer set loose more than 30 steer.
We live in Texas, so, it's nothing new.
Authorities chased the cattle through traffic, causing drivers to think, this some bull. 4 hours later, all the steer caught and steered back into their trailer. In Chicago, drivers rushed to the rescue of a dog dashing down the expressway. This poor pup caught in a precarious position. Thankfully, strangers stopped traffic to corral the canine. The woman who wrangled the animal into her car is watching after it until the owner can be found. In Wisconsin, 2 river otters shuffled away from the zoo during a recent snowstorm. Surveillance video from the zoo captures the escapees quickly zipping across the frosty terrain, later spotted sliding across the snow. Officials say river otters are native to the area and should be fine to survive in the wild until caught. And in South Carolina, JJ the kangaroo had some help escaping his home. A goat named Blue bumped open a gate, letting his bouncing buddy loose. You're my boy, Blue! The Horry County Police Department tracked down JJ and helped return the male red kangaroo back to his animal farm. And if that's too much excitement, take a moment to settle down with this emotional support skunk. Yes, you heard me correctly. Mr. Sushi is a domesticated odorless animal. Think Pepe Les Pew. Mr. Sushi has been traveling around eastern Iowa offering comfort and cheer for those willing to get close.
I just want to bring him to people to just share him and like I keep saying, just that happiness that he brings.
For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
Stick around, we'll be right back. An endangered 10-year-old Malayan male tiger named Django explores his new enclosure in Tennessee. Django now calls Zoo Knoxville home. He previously lived in Dickerson Park Zoo in Missouri. With fewer than 200 Malayan tigers remaining in the wild, Django's genetics are crucial to maintaining a healthy and diverse population under human care. Officials hope to eventually introduce Django to Batari, the Zoo Knoxville's female Malayan tiger, so they can breed. Take a look at this cat with a pretty long tail, the longest of any living domestic cat. In fact, Mr. Pugsley Adams was awarded the Guinness World Record on Wednesday. For this whooping 18.5-inch tail, the 2-year-old Maine Coon cat isn't even fully grown yet. He lives in Minnesota with the Cameroon family and their 3 other Maine Coon cats. Pugsley's tail caught the attention of the vets at his very first visit. 6 months later, the Cameron family looked into the current record and found their cat had it beat. Maine Coon cats are the largest domestic cat breed. It usually takes 4 to 5 years for them to reach their full size.
That is a very big tail for that cat. I mean, the tail's almost bigger than the cat. And you know they use it for balance. I wonder if that throws them off at all or anything like that. All right, let's talk about what we've got. So we do have scattered storms starting to enter the western edges of our area. If this line holds together, we'll have some scattered storms through the morning, about 60 to start, 73 by 11 o'clock. And again, if they hold together, they should last through the latest at 2, but we'll begin seeing them wrap up by then. We'll be into the low to mid 80s, southwest winds gusting to 30. Mostly cloudy initially, and then skies will clear out as we go through the evening and overnight. Still breezy and mild. Southwest winds gusting to 25, back into the upper 50s tonight. A little cooler tomorrow, low 70s, maybe a pop-up shower or storm. And then Saturday, late Saturday into very early Sunday is our next round of thunderstorms. That's the one where it could be strong, possibly severe, so we want to watch it very closely. Cold front makes us colder Sunday night into Monday. Warm weather returns by next week. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.